Welcome, my name is Rachel, and today we're going to be doing a very basic yoga practice. I would consider it a beginner class. It's going to be very gentle, and we're going to do a lot of stretches for our hips, quads, and hamstrings. And so here I have with me Pascal and Maria helping me today, and let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start sitting on our mat in an easy seated. So legs crossed if you can get to that position. And we're going to rest our hands on our knees. And whenever you rest your hands on your knees, your palms can be up or down. It's whatever feels good to you today. We're going to sit up as tall as we can, so we're lengthening through the spine, and we're creating space between our vertebrae. We're going to gently roll shoulders back and down. feet together and my knees wide apart. But everybody's going to look a little different in their child's pose. Some people prefer to have their knees closer together or their feet a little bit apart. So finding what feels best for you in your child's pose. Let's lift back up to our hands and knees. So we're going to make sure we're all lined up again, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We're going to reach that right arm forward and bring the pinky finger to the mat. Good, and then we're going to lift that arm up to the ear. Really engage the core. And then we'll release, bring that hand to mat. Now we're going to reach left arm forward, bring the pinky finger to mat, and lift the left arm up, bicep to ear, engaging the core, trying to keep that nice flat back in your tabletop, and then we'll release. Now we're going to tuck our toes under, and we're going to slide that right foot back. Now we're going to lift that right foot up just a little bit, and really engage that right glute. Good, go ahead and release. We're going to keep the toes tucked, and we're going to slide that left foot back, and lift that left foot up just a little bit. Good, nice deep breath. Remember to stay connected to your breath. And now we'll release, keeping the toes tucked. Now we're going to add opposite arm and leg. So we're going to reach right arm forward, pinky finger, slide the left foot back. And then we'll lift. Good, then we'll release, bring the hand and knee back to mat. Then we'll reach that left arm, pinky finger to mat, slide that right leg back, small lift, really engage the glutes here in the core. And then we'll release, keeping the toes tucked. Let's try that a few more times. So we're going to slide out, reach that right pinky finger to the mat, then lift, and release. Good. Now that left arm and right leg sliding and lifting. Good. And releasing. Let's do that one more time on each side. Right arm, left leg, lifting and releasing. And then left arm, right leg, lifting and releasing. Good. Let's untuck the toes, and we'll sit the hips back into our child's pose again. Nice deep breath here. And let's lift up to all fours. We're going to pick up that right knee and step that right foot through. So it might take you a second to get adjusted. We want the right knee right on top of ankle. And we're going to engage that left quad and glute to feel a stretch in the front of that left hip. Good. Let's take a couple breaths here. Let's bring our hands to our thigh, lifting up, shoulders down. We're still engaging through that left glute. We want to keep that heart space open, stay connected to our breath. Good. Let's bring our hands to the mat, and we're going to straighten the right leg and try to flex up those toes. So we're coming into that hamstring opener. We're starting to check in with those legs a bit, and the hips and the hamstrings. Good. Let's walk forward and bend into that right knee again. Let's bring those hands to the mat, and we're going to bring that right knee back. And we're going to pick up that left knee, step through with that left foot. So again, you might not get that foot exactly where you want it on the good. So we're engaging that right glute, opening up the front of that right hip. Good. Let's bring hands to thigh, lifting the chest, gently drawing shoulders down. Good. Staying connected to our breath, keeping that breath in and out through the nose. And we'll bring hands back to mat, and we're going to straighten that left leg, flex the toes up. Good. Nice deep breath here as we open up those hamstrings. 3 more of these chair flows. Exhale, sitting. Good. 2 more. Inhale, nice deep breath, palms together. Sitting, hips back in the chair. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, sitting, hips back in the chair. Good. Inhale. And we're going to fold forward into our forward fold. So if those hamstrings are tight, we might want to rest the hands on the shins or even up on the thighs. Okay? So remember, you have options. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, rounding, tucking chin. Again, inhale, flat back. Exhale, rounding. Good. 1 more. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, rounding. And we're going to stretch those arms out to a T. Really engage that core. Hinge at the hips, lifting up to standing. Inhale. Exhale, bringing hands to heart center. Good. Let's go through that chair flow again. So again, we're just creating some heat in the body. Making those muscles more pliable so that we can get a nice stretch out of the muscles. Good. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, sitting. So just staying connected to our breath, focused on our breath, noticing any sensations that we're feeling in the body. Good. We'll do about 2 more of these chair flows. Good. And this time we'll flat back, fold forward. So again, hands can be on thighs, shins, or mat. Or if you use blocks, you can have your blocks. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, round, tucking the chin. Inhale, flat back. Keep the core nice deep breath. And then we're gonna switch it out, bring the right hand on the inside of right foot, shoulder and knee close together, reaching left arm up to ceiling, good. Check in with that breath. Good, let's gently untwist, hands on both sides of foot. We're gonna reach both arms up to ceiling, good. So nice, strong arms here, shoulders down, maybe a little lift of the chin. Beautiful, let's bring hands to mat, and we're gonna bring that right knee back, and we're gonna step that left foot forward. So again, we're gonna do that twisting. We're gonna bring right hand to mat, twist open left, reaching left hand up to ceiling, core engaged. And let's switch it out, bringing left hand on the inside of left foot, shoulder and knee close together, reaching right arm up. Good, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Gently untwisting, hands on both sides of foot, and reaching arms up to ceiling. Good, so again, maybe lifting that chin a bit, really engaging the right quad and glute. Good, let's bring hands to mat, and we're gonna bring that left knee back, and let's sit the hips back into our child's pose. Good. So here we're going to do a little flow. We're going to lift up to hands and knees, and we're going to shift forward into a kneeling plank. So you might have to walk your hands forward a bit. We're just going to flow with our kneeling plank. So all we're going to do is sit hips back, child's pose, lift hips up, bring shoulders over wrists, finding that kneeling plank. Good. Sitting hips back, coming into child's pose, lifting, bringing shoulders over wrists into that kneeling plank. So now we're going to flow, we're going to sit those hips back, and we're going to add on lifting up to our kneeling plank. We're going to try a little chaturanga. So elbows come to ribs, and it might be that you only are able to bend your elbows a bit, or maybe a little bit more. So just going as far as you can, and we're going to push up and back in to child's pose. Good, lifting back to that kneeling plank. Chaturanga, pushing up and back to child's pose. One more time, kneeling plank. Chaturanga, pushing up and back to child's pose. Good. Let's lift back up to our hands and knees. And let's step that right foot through one more time. We're going to reach those arms up to ceiling. Good. So just nice, strong, high lunge here. We're going to play around with the arms a little bit. Good. We're going to make cactus arms. So we're going to open up those arms and really open the chest. Gently draw the shoulder blades together behind you. Good. Reaching arms back up to ceiling, shoulders down. Good. And we're going to bring hands back to the mat. Let's bring that right knee back, and let's do that flow in our kneeling plank. Chaturanga, pushing up and back to child's pose. Good. Let's lift back to all fours, and we'll step that left foot through. Coming into that low lunge, reaching the arms up to ceiling. Good. And opening up into those cactus arms, gently drawing those shoulder blades behind you. Good. Nice deep breath. Reaching arms back up to ceiling. And bringing hands to mat. We're going to bring that left knee back, so find that kneeling plank. Make any adjustments. Chaturanga, pushing up and back to child's pose. Good. Lifting up to all fours. Good. Let's hold right here on all fours. Really engage engaging the core here. And we're going to do one more variation with our spinal balance. We're going to reach right arm forward, left leg back. Good. And we're going to go out to the diagonal. So right arm goes out to right, left leg goes out to left. And then we're going to come back center and release. Let's try that on the other side. Left arm, right leg. We go out to diagonal, so left arm out to left, right leg out to right, back center, and release. Let's try that one more time on each side. Right arm, left leg, nice and strong, opening out to the diagonal. Good, coming back center, and releasing. And left arm, right leg, opening out to diagonal, coming back center, and releasing. Good, let's sit those hips back into our child's pose. Take a nice deep breath here. Good, we're gonna lift up onto all fours. Good, so walking those hands forward towards the front of your mat, and we're gonna gently lower down onto our tummies. Good, so here we're gonna place our right hand under our chin. We're gonna bend up the left knee and reach for the top of the left foot, coming into a quad stretch. We're going to gently pull that heel towards the glute and maybe engage that left glute a bit. And press the front of the left thigh into the mat. Good. Go ahead and release. Let's switch sides. Left hand under chin, we'll bend up the right knee, reach for the top of the right foot or ankle, and gently pull that right heel to glute. Gently press the front of the right thigh into the mat. Good, take another deep breath here. Good, go ahead and release. We're gonna bring hands under shoulders and push up and back into child's pose. Good, so nice and slow. We're gonna walk those hands back towards our knees. We're gonna sit the hips off to one side and then bring those legs around in front of us so we can get into some more stretches. We're gonna start with a butterfly. So we're gonna bring soles of the feet together. We want a little bit of space here. We're gonna hold on to ankles and sit up as tall as we can. Good, then we're gonna lean forward. Relax the neck. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can gently press elbows into the legs. Or if those hips are tight, that might just be enough to just lean forward a bit. Good. Let's hold here for a couple breaths, let those hips stretch. So like I said in the beginning of class, we're going to do several stretches for our hips and legs. Good. Let's gently lift back up to seated. And we're going to push our feet forward a bit. So I'd say about a half a foot to a foot. So you have to lean forward a bit to hold on to those ankles. And we're going to tuck our chin and round down. So the crown of my head is going to rest in my feet if the crown meets, okay, your feet. But just pretend like there's a string connecting the crown of your head to your feet. And again, if you want to go a little deeper into this pose, maybe gently pressing elbows into legs, opening those hips a bit more. Good. Always checking in with your breath, noticing if your breath is really shallow, staying up in your chest, and intentionally drawing your breath deeper. and then out to the edges of our mat. Good. And here, we're gonna round and fold forward again. So here, you might need to make little adjustments. You could bring the feet in or out, maybe an inch or so, or maybe forward or back an inch or so, but just finding that stretch. We're getting all around that gluteus medius, that outer hip area. There's lots of little muscles there that tighten up with different things that we do every day, like driving, sitting, running, walking. Good, let's gently lift. Bring those hands behind you, and we're going to stretch those legs out. Let's shake them out a little bit. Good. Let's bend up the left knee. We'll keep the right leg straight. And we're going to flex our toes up to stretch the hamstrings. So we're going to walk the hands out as far as we can. If you can clasp your hands and hold on to the ball of the foot. Some other cues for this pose to help you open the hamstrings is to gently press the tailbone back and gently open the chest as well. Good. Just really lengthening the hamstrings here. Gently lift, and we're going to switch out the legs. So we'll stretch left leg out, bend up the right, and again, walking it out as far as you can. If you can clasping the ball of the foot. Good. Again, gently pressing tailbone back behind us, gentle opening of the chest. Again, if you can, clasping the feet. It's a little bit different sensation when we have both legs stretched out. Think about gently pressing tailbone back behind you, gently opening chest. Good. Really getting those hamstrings. Nice and slow, we're going to lift back up to seated. Good. Let's bend up the knees. Bring the hands behind us. We're going to do our windshield wipers. So we just drop the knees from side to side. It's a nice little hip massage here. Good. Let's do a few more. One more time to each side. Good, and let's stop center. Let's lower down onto our mat. So we're going to take our time, come onto elbows, and then gently lower all the way down to the mat. And let's keep the knees bent up here. We're going to do some more stretches here on our mat. We're going to come into our figure four, so right ankle crosses over left thigh. Then we're going to bring those legs towards our chest. And we're going to reach through the hole, and you can either grab onto your left hamstring or your left shin. You're going to gently draw those legs in, hug them in. So as we're doing this stretch, I want you to rest your head on the mat and gently press shoulders, hips low back into the mat. here. Allowing that right outer hip to open. Good, let's release that stretch and we'll switch out the legs. Crossing left ankle over right thigh, drawing legs in, and again, either holding onto right hamstring or right shin. Again, we want to rest our head on the mat and gently press our shoulders and our hips and our low back into the mat. We're trying to keep our legs as straight as we can, but if those hamstrings are tight, you might need to bend the knees up a bit. Good, let's release that right leg. Go ahead and stretch it back out onto the mat. And we'll hug the left knee into chest. So hugging it in nice and tight. And then stretching that left leg up to ceiling. So again, you can hold on to that left hamstring or calf. We want to gently press shoulders and hips into the mat. Keeping the legs as straight as we can, but again, if those hamstrings are tight, you might need to bend the knees up a bit to help them out. And then flexing the feet. Good, let's gently release that left leg. We'll stretch it back out onto the mat. Now we're going to draw that right knee back into chest. And we're going to open that right knee out to right. So I'm still hugging it in, but I'm pulling it out to my right a bit so that I can stretch my inner hip, inner thigh area. So you can keep the knee bent, or if you'd like, you can also straighten the leg. And straightening the leg is not necessary either, especially if you're really tight in the inner hip. And sometimes you'll notice when we straighten the leg, our opposite hip lifts up, so our left hip lifts up. And we want to try and press that down. So again, the leg can be straight or bent as long as you're feeling that stretch in the inner hip and thigh area. Good. So if that leg is stretched out, we're going to bend it back up, bring it back center, and then stretch that right leg back out on the mat. And we'll do the same thing for the left. So hugging that left knee in. Again, opening it out to left till we feel that stretch in the inner hip and thigh. Remember, you have the option of opening, stretching that leg out. And remember that when we do that, that right hip is going to want to lift up. So we're going to have to really engage the core to tell that right hip to stay down on the mat. And one stretch is not better than the other. They're both stretching the same area. So if that left leg is straight, we're going to bend it up. Draw it back into the chest, and then stretch that left leg out onto the mat. Good. We're got a couple more stretches we're gonna do. Let's bend up that right knee. We're gonna place the right foot on the mat, and then we're gonna take our left hand and gently draw that right leg over to left for our spinal twist. And then we'll reach that right arm out to right with the palm facing the ceiling. So you can make this stretch as active or as passive as you'd like. So you can just rest here, or you can really add some pressure here by drawing that right shoulder to the mat and pulling that right knee to left with that left hand. And always remember, we want to feel a little discomfort here. We want to feel that stretch, but we don't want to be in pain. So if it crosses over into that pain, we want to back off. Good. Let's gently roll back onto our backs. And now our hips are a little bit out of alignment, so we need to adjust our... So we're bringing those hips back into alignment here. And we're going to stretch that right leg out onto our mat. Left knee is bent up. And we're going to take that right hand, gently pull that left knee over to right. And then reach the left arm out to left with palm up. Good. So again, making it as passive or active as you need. And we always want to mirror what we did on the other side to create balance. So if you did a more passive stretch on the other side, we want to do the same thing on this side. And we're going to do one last stretch with those hips. We're going to cross the right leg over left, so thighs are touching. And then we're going to pick those legs up and draw them to our chest. Now we're going to reach with our hands for the bottom of the feet. So my left hand's reaching for the bottom of my right foot, and my right hand's reaching for the bottom of my left foot. So this is a reclining cow face leg. I'm going to gently draw my feet towards my armpits as I gently press my low back into the mat. Good. And we're going to take some nice deep breaths here. This is another outer hip opener. Good. Nice deep breaths. Out the legs. So we'll uncross, cross that left leg over. Again, thighs touching. We're going to draw knees to chest, reach with the hands. So my right hand's reaching for the bottom of left foot, left hand's reaching for bottom of right foot. And then again, I'm going to gently draw my feet towards armpits, gently press my low back into the mat. Hug the knees to chest. Good. So it might feel good to rock from side to side, or maybe a circular motion on the back. out about mat distance apart and let the feet fall outward. But there's other options. You could also bring the legs into a butterfly if that feels better. Or you could bend the knees up, place the feet towards the outer edges of your mat and let the knees fall inward. So those are generally the most popular leg positions for a final relaxation. And you're just going to relax your arms. The palms are turned up to ceiling. If you'd like, you can close the eyes. And we're going to gently tuck the shoulder blades underneath us. So just finding your most comfortable Savasana. You might want a blanket or a pillow. And really turning our focus back to our breath. I want you to really bring the breath down deep into the bottom of the lungs, belly expanding, and then gently drawing the belly button in. Pushing the air out, exhaling. So really focusing on your breath here. Again, eyes closed. If that feels good, that helps us take away some distractions. Continuing to take those nice deep breaths. And I'm going to lead you through a body scan. So we're going to start at the feet. So as we go through the body scan, as I name the body part, intentionally releasing any stress or tension that you're holding onto in that body part. So again, starting at the feet, feet are relaxed. Moving down the feet to the heels and the ankles. So relaxing the ankle joint. Moving up to the shins and the calves. And then the kneecaps. Noticing if you're squeezing the kneecaps at all and releasing. And moving up to the thighs, the quads, the hamstrings. And again, just noticing if you're engaging the muscles at all and releasing. Move up to the hip joint, the glutes, and up to the low back and low belly. So really letting that low belly expand with your inhale. Moving up to the mid belly and the bottom of the rib cage, the mid back. Good. Moving up to the chest and the upper back and the shoulders. And now moving down the arms. So the upper arms relaxing, the elbow joint relaxing, the forearms down to the wrists and the hands. So the palms are up, fingertips are curling up. Now moving up to the neck muscles, to the back of the neck and the throat. Moving up to the face, so noticing the jaw, noticing if you're clenching the jaw at all, releasing. Up to the cheekbones, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the forehead, all the way to the crown of the head. And we'll just take a few more deep breaths here. Completely relaxed, completely supported by our mat. Doing your best to keep your mind fully present. If your mind wanders to the past or to your future to-do list, just letting go of those thoughts and coming back to that full presence. And we're gonna come into a fetal position. So I'm resting my head on my right arm. And when you're ready, we're gonna press that left palm into the mat, begin pushing up, and then let that right hand help you, lifting all the way up to seated. And we're gonna come into our easy seated towards the front of our mat. Again, palms can be down or up on your knees, whatever feels good to you. And let's gently drop right ear to right shoulder, and then we're gonna extend that left arm out to left, just to kind of enhance that stretch. Good, and let's come back center, and then we'll drop left ear to left shoulder, and we're gonna stretch that right arm out. Good, and then gently coming back center. Now we're gonna gently tuck chin to chest. If you'd like, you can take the fingertips to the base of the head and just add a little bit of pressure here. Being gentle. Good, gently releasing, coming back center. And we're gonna take a nice deep breath in together. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. Palms together, hands to heart center, exhaling. And I thank you all for joining me today with this gentle yoga practice. And the light in me honors the light in you. I say namaste.